Hey guys, welcome to my Ocean One and Then Some channel. Just got back from being a Benedict Arnold, if you will. Yesterday, my wife and I were sitting in the living room and I was on Tesla's website and I was looking around and I found that I could actually go and test drive a Tesla Model Y. That was about an hour away from me. It was in Berea. So, Berea, Kentucky, of course. So, we decided to go up there and test drive a Model Y and compare it to the Fisker Ocean. So, what are my current thoughts and why am I doing this? So, I am doing this because, I potentially, if Hagens and Bermans wins the case, then, probably be giving up the Ocean. So we wanted to start looking at options to replace the Ocean. And on my short list, I have a very short list, is the Tesla Model Y, the Honda Prologue, and the Kia EV6. I'm not really considering anything else at the moment, although that, my mind may change. But as right now, I still love driving the Ocean. My wife drives it most of the time. She's the daily driver to work, but we really enjoy the Ocean, and we wanted to see how the Model Y stacked up to it. So, what are my thoughts about that? Well, I have a lot of thoughts about that, and I have no script, okay, so I may end up repeating myself. I may end up going over a few things a few times, but I wanted to go ahead and do this now while it was still fresh on my brain, and I don't want to criticize the Tesla Model Y, although I am going to be comparing it to the Fisker Ocean some, and these are my opinions. So the first thing that really stood out to me on the Ocean versus the Model Y was the software. The software on the Model Y is just simply superb. It's really outstanding how well it works. You press it, it's there. Like zip zip. You talk to it just like you would Google or Apple, and it works. You press a button and you say, open the glove box. Poof, the glove box opens. Open the charge port. Poof, the charge port opens. Press a button, open the frunk. Poof, the frunk opens. Had the Fisker been delivered with software similar to Tesla, I would have probably never been test driving a Tesla because this would have probably worked out massively differently. But that's what stood out to me, was the Tesla software was just perfect. Really just perfect. It worked, and it worked extremely well. So that was the first standout. The second thing that stood out to me was how bland the Tesla is. And I've always thought that the Teslas were bland. The exterior to me was always okay. It's shaped like an egg. Okay, I get it. But it's okay. It's got clean lines. It looks good. Hey, Molly. My dog came to see me. You guys want to see my dog? Well, she's camera shy. She's running off. All right. And I've always thought that the Model Y was rather bland on the exterior, and even more so on the interior. The interior is just, it's bland, guys. You cannot get around how bland the Tesla is. You have nothing in front of you except a steering wheel. You have a screen. That's it. There's nothing to spruce it up. It is bland. And my wife thought the same thing, and my daughter thought the same thing. Now, interestingly, they kept wanting to compare the Model Y to the Ocean. I said, look, guys, you have to stop doing that. You have to stop doing that, because if we end up changing vehicles, the Ocean is not on the list. And my daughter said, well, Daddy, if we had never gotten the Ocean, I would have probably thought that the Model Y was really cool. But since we have the Ocean, I thought it was rather boring. And, I agree with that. Where it really stood out, though, was the software. My wife thought the same thing. She called it just okay. And that says a lot. She was open to it, but she said it's just a car. And that, I think that speaks volumes for how good the Ocean looks and how good the Ocean drives. Now, what else did I like about the Model Y? I really liked the adaptive cruise. Worked flawlessly. And I tried using the self-driving feature, but that was actually disabled. The best that I could do was have, I don't remember the name of it, but it was the centering of the lanes, you know, where it would actually like turn, it would make turns with the lane centering feature, and that worked extremely well. You know, you just pulled down on the stalk, the lines turned blue, and it held it in perfect balance between the lines on the interstate. And we drove it on the interstate a little bit, we drove it on the rural roads a little bit, and it, you know, it drove well. I'm just going to say well. It wasn't as smooth as the Ocean, but it drove well. Now, one place that it, I mean, was head and shoulders above the Ocean was on the regen. The regen and the one pedal driving was absolutely perfect. It was perfectly calibrated. The Ocean is not. When you're running, say, 75 in the Ocean, and you are going to get off an exit ramp and you let off the accelerator, you get this big surge, you know, I mean, it will really drag you down because it's slowing you down so quickly. And what I will do is I will modulate that with the accelerator. So I've gotten really good at that. I can give it very smooth. But that's not necessary with the Tesla. The Tesla's regen was just spot on perfect, perfectly calibrated. So I think most EVs, if they're going for the one pedal driving, could really learn from the Tesla in that aspect. Now, power was interesting because I've gotten used to the Ocean, and I was driving the Tesla Model Y long range. And power-wise, there's no comparison. The Ocean is just brutally faster than the Tesla Model Y. Now, had I been driving the performance version of the Tesla Model Y, I would have probably been saying, you know, that they're very similar, or even the Tesla has an edge. The Tesla did feel a little lighter, because it is. It did feel a little more, how would you word it, spirited maybe in the curves, because the Ocean feels rather heavy in the curves. But what I like to do was I'd like to get the Tesla up to 50, 60 miles an hour and just tromp on it. And, you know, it accelerated very well. But when you compare that to the Ocean will literally push you back in the seat at those speeds, where the Tesla would not. The Tesla would speed up, you know, at a very, very brisk pace. But the Ocean is just brutally fast. And it's faster than the Tesla Model Y was. You know, seat of the pants, there was no comparison there. But what I really liked about the Tesla was the software. You cannot get around that. That is a software-defined vehicle, and the software worked extremely well. Another thing that I liked about the Tesla was the really large hole in the trunk. So when you open up the trunk and you raise the bottom up, it has a massive hole back there. So that creates quite a bit of storage. It did have the third row in the Model Y, which if you look at that and you think about using that, you know, you better have a kid that's like 3 foot nothing, because you're going to have to decapitate them to shut the trunk. That third row is pretty much useless unless, you know, they're, I don't know, 10 or under, maybe. So my quick observations on the third row is it's pretty useless. And I really like the door handles. I think the door handles make more sense than the Oceans. The Oceans, you know, they come out, they're powered, and they come out. The Tesla Model Y, you push in, the handle pops out, and you pull it. I like that. I think that's a much simpler feature. Seems to make sense. It's probably cheaper. You know, now, of course, I didn't get to drive the Tesla at night, and the Ocean in the door handles has those little puddle lights that come out. So that's a super nice feature with the Fisker Ocean. So to sum up the Tesla Model Y, it drove well. Hey, you can come down here. It's all right. Do you need anything? Okay. Do you need me? I'll pause the video. Oh, okay. So it drove well. It was just incredibly bland. There's no getting around the blandness. It's kind of bland on the outside, but I give that more of a pass because, you know, I find the outside okay. The interior, incredibly bland. Basically, if you are not using the center screen, there's, you know, it's just a bland vehicle. Drives well though, and the software works extremely well. The seat was very comfortable. Not as comfortable though as the Ocean, but what I did like about the Tesla was it had more adjustments. Now in the Ocean you can't tilt the seat. It does not have a tilt feature to tilt it, but the Model Y does. And I found it very easy to find a very comfortable, supportive position. And those of you that may or may not remember, I have a bad back, so that's something that's always a primary concern to me, is finding a good comfort with the seat. I would rate the seats themselves, a 10 in the Ocean. They're just super comfortable. I would rate the adjustments in the seat in the Tesla a 9. Just slightly below in the comfort, but I think that's going to depend on who you are, how you're built. So the Tesla may provide a better seating position for you because you could find, you know, more adjustments. And really that's about it as far as, you know, comparing the features that the Tesla has. It was interesting because when we got there, we just signed up online last night and we were able to get there. We had an appointment at 3:30. We got there like 3:25, and you couldn't do anything. 3:26, nothing. 3:28, nothing. 3:29, nothing. 3:30, poof. Came through on the phone, said locate car. You pressed locate car. We were parked right beside it. It paired up, opened the car, started the car, opened the charging port, opened the trunk, opened the front. Everything just worked. Could you imagine had the Ocean been delivered with software that worked so well from day one? Now, that's an interesting thing to compare here because, in my opinion, the Ocean drives better in every way. Drives better than the Tesla does. It's softer, it's smoother, like the stalks on the Ocean, you know, where you pull it in gear, you use the blinkers, super smooth. There's no click, click, there's nothing. It's buttery smooth. With the Tesla, everything was click, 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 click. And, you know, that's a very minor thing. But when you compare the driving aspects of both vehicles, I really enjoyed driving the Ocean better than the Model Y. It drove smoother, it drove faster. It was, for me, it was quieter. In the sense, especially driving around in the parking lots, everything was just smoother and quieter. And my wife and my daughter felt the same way. But the Tesla felt very well put together. There wasn't much wind noise. It drove extremely well. And the lane centering was perfect. So I would imagine had the self-driving feature been active, I would have probably been very impressed with that. But now I'm one of these people that I enjoy driving, and I'm always very alert when I drive, so not sure how much I would use the self-driving feature other than, you know, just to play around and, you know, see how it works and stuff like that. I think I would rather myself be in control in those situations. But, you know, that's for everybody to decide. So what did the Ocean have that the Tesla lacked? The Ocean has all kinds of features that the Tesla does not. The Tesla does not have a digital rear view camera. That's something that my wife immediately missed. It doesn't have a sunroof, something we all immediately missed. You can't roll the back window down, something we all missed. It has no personality in the sense, you know, I called it, it's about as exciting as a refrigerator. And, you know, there's some refrigerators that are very nice, but do you really get excited about a refrigerator? So those are features that, you know, we immediately missed. And I'm trying to think, because I have no script here, I'm trying to think of something else that on the Ocean that, oh yeah, my daughter said, there's no limo mode back here, Daddy. You know, there's no way to adjust the temperature or anything. But that's kind of weird with the Fisker, because if you adjust it in the back, it also adjusts it in the front. So I always felt that that was kind of a really weird way to do that. I think the way to compare the two is the details. The Ocean is just full of details. I mean, details everywhere. It's got details on the accelerator pedal, on the brake pedal, the lighting, the ambient lighting in the Ocean. It is just, it's a beautiful machine inside and out. And when you compare the two, the Tesla is just extremely bland, where the Ocean is not. It's not bland. But the Ocean is put to shame by the software on the Tesla. The Tesla software is, it's its heart and soul. You know, we drove it basically for an hour. And from what we drove, software is perfect. You know, there's always room for improvement, of course, but it's kind of like getting on your phone and talking to Google. It just works. Everything just worked, and it worked super fast, super crisp. In the Ocean, you know, you get back in the Ocean, and I really enjoy all the features of the Ocean, especially being able to adjust the temperature and, you know, the physical controls of the Ocean. I immediately missed that being in the Tesla. And I immediately appreciated it getting back into the Ocean. But the Ocean, no adaptive cruise, no voice controls. You know, those things never got there. And now, no warranty, no support, no parts, no service. It's just a bad situation to be in. So we took today and drove the Model Y, and I think we gave it a very good look over. It's a car that I wasn't unfamiliar with, but it was also a car that I had never driven. You know, I'd never sat in one. I had looked at a lot, read a lot, watched a lot of videos, but I, you know, never put my seat in the pants of a Model Y until today. I like driving it. Bottom line, would I buy one? Yes. Yes, I would. Would I miss features that the Ocean has? 100%. I would miss that 100%. I feel that the Model Y would be a great daily driver, a great family car. I could see it serving a family well. I just wish that it wasn't so bland. Okay. Now, the next on our list is the Honda Prologue and the Kia EV6. We plan on driving those. And I have no idea who's going to be interested in this video. I just got home and it was fresh on my mind. And I don't think I've left anything out that was, you know, of super importance or anything like that. It was just a fun thing to do. And my plan has never changed. If Hagen and Burmans does not win the court case, we're going to keep the Ocean and drive it until we have a problem that we can't solve. That might be a day. That might be tomorrow. That might be a year. That may be 5 years. We have no idea. But if they win the case and we turn the Ocean in, then those are our top three. The Model Y, Honda Prologue, and the Kia EV6. Now, if you have other suggestions, I'm totally open to other suggestions. I'm no dummy in the EV market by no means. I pretty much know everything that's out there. So if you want to throw something at me and say, hey, you know, consider this. We're really looking only at SUVs. We're really looking only at cars that have all-wheel drive. And if we get rid of the Ocean, we're desperately going to miss it. But something as simple, you know, as a cracked windshield in the Ocean could, you know, turn it into a yard ornament. So, you know, everybody out there that has an Ocean knows exactly where Ocean owners are coming from with such a statement. It's just not where we want it to be. I would have loved to have seen the Ocean, you know, operating today, a year later, with software that is, you know, close to what Tesla has. That would be fantastic, because I think the Ocean is so good that it would have been a game changer in the market had it ever gotten to be the car that it should have been, especially with the 4D radar. I really enjoyed driving the Tesla, though I forgot to mention that. I really enjoyed driving the Tesla and it bringing up the cars around you. Now, it missed a lot. I mean, a lot. It would think that something that was towing something was a tractor trailer, you know, a semi-truck. It missed a lot of vehicles, but it was still fun to see it populate and bring up the people in the streets and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. So the software is where it really shines brightly. Anyway, just wanted to share this with you guys, and drop me some comments and let me know what your thoughts are. If you've had good experiences with other EVs, I'm totally open to it. I look forward to hearing from you. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining in, and I hope you found this video helpful. And until next time.